day 23 in the Big Brother UK house, and I don't even know what's going on anymore. Before the show started, I read an article about Tom and Trish having that massive argument, and I thought, oh my god, Tom's actually going to do something. I can't wait to see that. But before that happened, Paul was in the diary room telling Big Brother he knows he's not everybody's cup of tea, but at least he's been himself. And I thought, oh, that's good to know that yourself is a childish, inconsiderate skis bag. Then we had Big Brother's Big Button, where every time a noise played and the button lit up, somebody had to press it and they would either get a reward or a punishment. And as this was going on, I thought to myself, this is not a random thing. Like, these things have obviously been chose in advance, because Olivia got a dance party, Henry got a meal, and it was a meal that he loves. It's something that he likes. I mean, not everybody's going to want to eat lobster. Jenkin had to be the housemaid. Dylan got a barista drink for everybody in the house. And once again, Olivia's squealing. Oh my god, squeal over coconut milk. And I know I point it out every video that I make, but last night, it's as if it's getting worse. Every time Big Brother spoke, every time MD done anything, she's squealing, and I was like, oh my god, gag that bitch. Olivia went to Noki and said that she wanted to be civil for the rest of the time, just in case Noki gets voted out on Friday, and she didn't want things to be awkward. And I thought the two of them are fake as fuck bitches, right? They've obviously nominated each other, and they're feeling a bit weird about it. Dylan was in the diary room explaining that he didn't want to go on Friday because he didn't want to let his girlfriend and his family down, and he didn't want to be put out of the house for losing his temper. And as I said in yesterday's video, the problem isn't only his temper, it's the way he acts in the kitchen, the way he leans over people when they're cooking, and he's trying to dictate every single thing that they eat and every single thing that they do in the house. But the problem is that nobody's communicating this with him. Even when I apologised to Noki and Trish, they didn't say that it was to do with the way he acts. All they says was, oh, you lose your temper, because that was an easy thing to say at the time. He knew that he'd lost his temper the night before, so they had used that as an excuse of why they nominated him, instead of actually just sitting him down and being honest and saying, there's a whole host of problems here, it isn't just your temper. Trish pressed the button, and Big Brother asked her who she thought was the most easily led in the house, and she chose Tom and gave very valid reasons for that. And as I literally said in my video yesterday, Tom is a sheep, and he's like a puppy dog who follows Paul about and does whatever he says. That is my exact words. So Big Brother dressed him up as a sheep, because he is one, and he put him out in the garden. So obviously this was the article that I read before the show started yesterday, saying that Tom and Trish had a massive argument. No, it was a slight disagreement. OK went out into the garden, he was giving her the fingers and that, and he was slagging her. And then she was in the room crying, right? She was upset. Like, no, sorry. Sorry, Tom. Big Brother asked me a question and I gave him an honest answer. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why she was feeling bad about it. Then Matty pressed the button and he got the opportunity to pick another housemate to take upstairs and discuss nominations. So I totally forgot who he'd nominated at this point. And when he picked Olivia and they went upstairs and he says, oh, we nominated each other, I thought, why did you just do that? Why did you just say that? Like, he might have thought that Olivia nominated him, but he didn't have any proof. And then when she says, who do you think I nominated? And he guessed Trish and Noki and went, oh, that's obvious. So why the hell did he take her upstairs and tell her to her face that he nominated her? Oh my god, I was just like that, Matty. What the fuck? The button lit up again and Paul ran over to press it, and Olivia was like, no, don't press it, Chanel wants it, Chanel wants it. Now, Paul could have just turned around and says, no, I was here first, I'll press it, but just as well he didn't, because Chanel ended up getting handcuffed to Yinrun for speaking her the least in the past 24 hours. Paul, Olivia and Jenkin were sitting on the couch talking about Henry, and how he never pulls his weight in the house, but he won a luxury meal, and Olivia says, oh, the inconsideration in the house is getting to him now, and I actually nearly fell off my bed. I was like, what did she just say? The inconsideration in the house is getting on her nerves. This is coming from the person who runs into the bedroom with her wee boyfriend Paul at 3 o'clock in the morning, screaming at the top of their lungs, shouting, hitting people with pillows, putting lettuce on people when they're sleeping, stealing food, and the inconsideration's getting on her nerves. What fucking planet is she living on? So later, Olivia was sitting at the table talking to Paul, Chanel and Yunrun about her gym membership and the classes that she goes to, and she spends about £500 a month on exercise, right? I don't know if she still works in a chippy, but I know that she used to work in a chippy because there's a thing on Facebook that you can watch, or YouTube or whatever. Now, maybe she owns that chippy for all I know, right? But £500 a month is a lot of money to spend on exercise. I know that she's a dancer and everything, but anyway, Paul was asking her questions about it, and Yinrun was like trying to like swat a fly or whatever, and Chanel turned around and went, "Oh, Yinrun's bored, we're going to go." Right? That was so rude. All she had to say was, "Oh, Mum will go out the back," or like something. She didn't have to actually turn around and say, "Oh, Yinrun's bored." Like, who the fuck are you to say Yinrun's bored? Right? Maybe she was absolutely bored out her tits, but who are you to say that? Like, Chanel wouldn't turn around and go, "Oh, I'm bored, I'm leaving." And that was the real problem. She was the one who was bored, but she decided to blame fucking Yinrun for it. Not only that, only a few weeks ago, Yinrun was saying to Trish that people are in mid-conversation with her and they get up and walk away and it's very hurtful. And they just done the exact same thing to Olivia last night. Like, what's that all about? It's complete double standards. And then on Facebook, people were saying, oh, when people were doing that to Yinrun, they were being told that they were bullies, but when they do it to Olivia, it's alright. It's always the same. When Jordan and Henry were on their date, it was so cute. But then later when Trish and Matty were like jumping on top of them and it carrying on. So at some point Henry must have told Jordan how he feels about him. I must have missed that bit. But then Matty was sleeping, right? And Jordan came up to him and he's like, "Oh, we need to stop. Like, we just need to stop everything. Like, we need to stop speaking. We need to stop, like, carrying on or, like, flirting because it's affecting other people in the house." And I thought, he is acting like such a child, right? Like, him and Matty have never actually done anything together apart from flirting and push each other away, flirt, push each other away. And now he knows that it's affecting Henry, right? But was there a need to wake him up? Like, you could have spoke to him in the morning. It didn't make any sense. And not only that, but Jordan already went into the diary room and said to Big Brother that he wasn't interested in Henry like that. So what he should have done is says to Henry, "Look, I'm really flattered that that's how you feel, but I don't reciprocate the feelings." But by him going to Matty and saying, "Look, we need to stop talking," it's given Henry a false sense of hope. On the Late and Live show, Jordan was asking Trish for her opinion as a feminist about if a man should pay for a meal on a date or not. And when she answered, I was like, oh my god, shut up. Like, actual redneck, you're making women look like fucking idiots, right? And she says, "Oh, well, women want equality, but we don't have equality because men still get paid more, so men should pay for the meal." And I'm like, no, that's not the case. First of all, there's plenty of women out there that get paid more than men. Also, if you're in a couple or if you're out on a date, then you probably get different jobs, right? Completely different jobs. So the woman could still get paid more than the man. And regardless of that, right, even if the man makes more money and the woman's got a job, then there's no reason why she shouldn't pay. If she's asked him out on a date, she should pay. If he's asked her out on a date, he should pay. Then after that, it's chances each. Now, unless they're in a situation where they're married or they're in a couple and the man goes out and works and the woman doesn't work at all and that's their arrangement, then that's fine. But to actually say, oh, men still get paid more. No, not all men get paid more. Not all men get paid more for doing different jobs. I was just like, what the fuck is she talking about? On the Late and Live show, they normally show you a small clip of what's going on live in the house. And when they went in last night, there was a big argument going on, and they'd been having a party, and you could hear somebody screaming in the background, calling somebody a bully. And everybody's writing online, oh, they went in by accident, like they didn't mean to do that. And I'm like, the producers know what time that show is going to show that bit. So if they didn't want them to show it, they would have told them not to. It was just for dramatic effect. And then apparently the live wasn't on last night. I don't even know where to watch the live show, to be honest. But they had went in, and there was clearly an argument, and one of the celebrity guests, as they called them, says, oh, Chanel was sitting at the table and she was heavy breathing and she's obviously upset. So since then, there's been stuff all over the internet saying that there was a big massive fight in the house last night and that Dylan and Paul have been chucked out the house. Now, there's no evidence to support this, right? This is just what I've been reading. But as I said, before the show came on yesterday, I read that Trish and Tom had a massive fight and that didn't happen. There's been people online, particularly on Twitter, writing stories about what happened last night, like fan fiction, and giving you this big massive story about what happened at the party last night. I'll be shocked if any of them are true. But if it turns out that Dylan and Paul did get chucked out the house last night, that suits me, because I don't care how Paul leaves the house, as long as he's gone. If Dylan and Paul haven't been chucked out the house, then tonight's eviction night and you've still got time to download the app and give Paul your 5 votes. And if you would like to talk more about Big Brother, give me a follow.